What's up, guys? It's Heretic here. Welcome back to another deck profile. As promised yesterday, we are getting underway with our Mega Evolutions here today from XY Evolutions, or at least the Spirit Links are. So we are going to kick off with Mega Venusaur-EX, and this deck, as a grass type feature, includes a special guest with Vileplume. So Mega Venusaur, our featured attacker, 230 HP. Almost the highest you can get on a Mega Evolution. There's a few with 240. But in any case, a whopping 4 energy to attack. You get Crisis Vine, which does only 120 damage, but automatically inflicts both paralysis and poison. Now, those of you who know me a little bit better might know that I have a bit of a distaste for auto paralysis attacks, but you cannot deny how powerful that effect is. Hands down the best status condition in the game. And being able to inflict it without needing a coin flip is just downright awesome. Scary. Probably should not be a thing. But in any case, we are going to take advantage of it here today. So we need to find a way to get 4 energy onto Venusaur and to do it while Vileplume is active. Because this is just a card that I think is too powerful not to play in a deck with Forest of Giant Plants. Irritating Pollen, preventing both players from playing any item cards from their hand. So 4 forests, a 3/3 Mega Venusaur line, and a 2/2/2 Vileplume line. Now, as I like to do in my Vileplume decks, we have the one Wobbuffet, so if something were to get knocked out, you can bring Wobbuffet up, give it a Float Stone, play all your items, and then retreat and reactivate the item lock. To me, this is worth the chance that they could Lysander out of item lock, because most of the time I feel like it ends up working out pretty well, and being able to play your items and essentially create a one-sided Vileplume lock for a turn is just absolutely insane. So we do have the one Wobbuffet, and as we go forward here, we have 3 copies of Illumise, and this is because we can't really make too much with Max Elixir due to us running the Vileplume line, so Helping Hand for 1 energy allows us to attach a basic energy from our deck to one of our bench Pokemon. If we get 2 Helping Hands out of an Illumise, that energy has already plussed itself into 2, and that will accelerate Mega Venusaur into attacking very quickly. It also does have the Twirling Sign attack, which deals a mere 10 damage, but inflicts automatic confusion, which can be nice against some of the higher retreat cost Pokemon EX and Mega Evolutions that are currently in the format. So that's our main Pokemon lineup. We got 2 Shamans to round it out. No Hoopa in this one, mainly due to space constraints and the use of the Vileplume line. But nonetheless, we got a pretty interesting, I feel like, lineup of Pokemon there. Our items are pretty straightforward. 4 Ultra Ball and 4 Trainer's Mail. We then have a 1-1 split on Heavy Ball and Level Ball. Level Ball able to pull Illumise, Oddish, and Gloom out of the deck, and Heavy Ball able to pull Vileplume and both of the Venusaur-EX cards from the deck, the regular basic and the Mega Evolution. So, only 10 item cards, no Verse Seekers because we are playing a Vileplume deck. So our supporter count, we just go all the way up to 4 Ends, 4 Sycamore, 2 Olympia, and 2 Lysander. Olympia in the instance that one of our many high retreat cost Pokemon gets dragged up while we are under Vileplume lock, and something that doesn't have a Float Stone, we might add. And then we have 4 Forest of Giant Plants, 3 Float Stones, try to get those on Vileplume before it evolves. And you can also save one for Wobbuffet. 3 Venusaur Spirit Link. Throw those on Venusaur before Vileplume evolves or when Wobbuffet is active. And then 10 Grass Energy to close things out. That is enough to be able to power up a couple Venusaurs and take advantage of Illumise. So anyway, we are going to go ahead and take this for a spin now and see if we can't get the item lock auto paralysis thing going on here. Okay, so we're going against a Hollow Rare, apparently. And he's playing the generic Mega Evolution lineup. Metal, Psychic, and Colorless. So, Scizor or Rayquaza, outside shot that this is Mewtwo. Okay, Scizor. We don't play any special energies, so I'm perfectly okay with this. Crisis Vine can take advantage of its 2-hit knockout potential here. Alright, so we do get some basics now. So it looks like, okay, we get the Illumise, which is our ideal starter, and then we get the Oddish, which is our ideal first turn bench sitter. So all things considered, that looks pretty good. We also have Heavy Ball, which could go and snag us either Venusaur or not Vileplume. Well, it could get us Vileplume, but more. Ugh, I can't talk today. More than likely, either Venusaur-EX or the I guess the Mega. I mean, I don't know why we get the Mega. I don't know, just whatever. Just don't listen to me. Okay, so he's gonna go grab Hoopa, which is pretty good Lysander bait if he doesn't get a Float Stone on it. We do notice he's got a float right away on this Trubbish. So we're going to want to kill that thing if we hope to attain any kind of item lock. And I'm going to go ahead and assume he's running a full complement of Crushing Hammers with this, which would create a bit of a problem. So we do see 2 Scizors, and one gets an Energy and a Spirit Link. We see a 5-card setup. And still no supporter yet. He Ultra Balled away a Sycamore, which implies he probably has a Versus Seeker in hand. And he's going to play an N here, so... I mean, that's not the worst thing that could have happened. Our hand was pretty playable, though. And we draw into not as good of a hand as we had. I guess we could Ultra Ball for either a Shaman or a Venusaur, and then start using Illumise, Helping Hand, to pull energy out of the deck. Okay, so he retreats into Scizor, and assuming he Mega Evolves next turn, he will be able to just knock out Illumise, so we would only be getting the 1 energy acceleration off it. But we do draw another one, so we can put that down and go ahead and play Ultra Ball here, discarding Olympia. Bad. I think we just let go of the Mega. Go find ourselves a Shaman. And then we're going to get a 5-card setup here, because we're going to get an energy on Illumise, we're going to get a Float Stone over here, and then we're going to set up. So we'll get 5 cards, which we draw basically nothing. So we just find our Forest of Giant Plants here. And go ahead and grab that. Get the second Trainer's Mail, which we find the Heavy Ball that will get us the Venusaur. So that's good to see. And it looks like there's only 1 Mega in the deck now, because we discarded one. So we do have one in the prizes. We can go ahead and bench this Venusaur. Give it an energy, or I mean a Spirit Link. We can Forest, and then we can go ahead and play this N here. And we are not getting our Vileplume anytime soon, but we do get the Mega Venusaur into our hands, so we can bench another Oddish. We can Mega Evolve Venusaur, and then we'll go ahead and use Helping Hand here, and we'll pull an energy from the deck and attach it to our Mega Venusaur-EX to start things out. So we're going to force him to Mega Evolve. He needs to hit the energy and the Mega, which shouldn't be too difficult when you consider the fact that he's not fighting off item lock right now, so he can just play all his cards. So we see him fail a Trainer's Mail, and he plays another one. The inconsistency in the styles of these 2 trainer cards is starting to bother me. Okay, so he grabs a Giovanni. Now, he would be able to just attach and attack now if he plays the Giovanni, and he would knock out Illumise. Fortunately, we have another one should we decide to use it. See a Float Stone go on to Hoopa. Of course, if we can ever accomplish item lock, we can just paralyze that darn thing. So there's a Max Elixir. It goes on to the other Scizor. And he does have that Giovanni. I don't know what else he's got supporter-wise, if anything. Alright, so he does use the Giovanni scheme. He uses the effect to draw 3, though. So he risks not knocking us out, which would definitely make the value for Illumise worth it if he were to miss the knockout here. Alright, so he gets an Ultra Ball, so the chain's going to continue here. We do see him discard a Parallel and a Metal Energy there, so I'm guessing he's just going to go straight for the Mega Scizor here, which is going to definitely make things interesting. He does actually pull the Shaman instead. So an Escape Rope is played. Alright, so if anything, we can just bring up the other Illumise here. So he will be able to just retreat into this thing and get a knockout without even having to use a Mega Evolution now. But we give him the Illumise with no energy, which will allow us to conserve an energy, and ultimately that could be the difference in a charged up Mega Venusaur here. We do see the Mega Scizor come into play. Alright, we do see the Parallel City, which reduces our damage by 20, Not really going to fuss over that too much, though, because we still paralyze him. That's kind of the big deal. We see another Ultra Ball here, so I'm guessing he's just going to go grab the Garbodor now. Yeah, okay, so we don't really need to prioritize putting Vileplume into play here. If we draw into it, we can kind of casually evolve it and be able to eventually lock him down if we ever knock out that Garb. But we don't really need to prioritize it at this point. We do see our active Illumise get knocked out. We'll see if he bumps the Stadium. I'm guessing no, because he's reducing our damage. So we'll bring up the Floating Oddish. And let's see, we draw a Trainer's Mail here. We might as well play that. We do get the Olympia, which isn't bad. We can hold on to that for now. Don't really want to play the end just yet. I think we just attach an energy to Mega Venusaur here. Go ahead and retreat into Illumise, and we'll use Helping Hand to go find another energy from the deck. Attach that to Mega Venusaur, and then that will end our turn. So we are one turn away from Crisis Vine now. We do see he attaches a Spirit Link there. And there's a Versus Seeker. So he grabs the Lysander. Okay, so he is going to drag up Mega Venusaur and lay a lick on it. Which I don't find myself having as big of a problem with as I would have if we didn't have this Olympia. Because we can Olympia out of the active, heal 30 damage, and then retreat back in with the Floating Oddish. And that 30 damage of healing is a pretty big deal, actually. So we can do that, and then we just retreat right back into this thing. Go ahead and throw an energy there. We've got, let's see, 5 energies accounted for. But we can Crisis Vine here. 100 damage. We get the Paralysis and the Poison, which would grant us a knockout next turn. And even if he does get another Mega Scizor out, or if he were to heal the Status Con, we would still not be knocked out by an attack from Mega Scizor here. Because we would have, let's see, yeah, we would have 140 remaining as opposed to the 110 that we were left with initially when he attacked us. So he Sycamores for 7. We do see an Escape Rope played here. So he can rope out. We've got 2 Oddishes. We don't really need 2 of them. So he can bring something else up, and we'll see if he opts to go back to the Mega Scizor. My guess is he goes to this one instead. And that is his second Escape Rope. So that's interesting to see 2 Escape Ropes in this deck. He does Mega Evolve again. But he's already played a Sycamore, so we're not going to get a Lysander here. And honestly, I think it might be more worrisome if he just leaves the Oddish there than if he were to attack it. Which might be the better play on his end, as it would potentially keep Venusaur from paralyzing him. Does play a Max Elixir there, which is a little confusing. And we do see Iron Crusher, so we're going to forfeit another prize card. That makes N into a potentially live play. And we're going to bring the Floating Oddish back up again. Alright, so we draw the Sycamore here, which I think that might actually be the better play as opposed to the N. We can go ahead and throw Venusaur down, add the Link, and we're just going to play the Sycamore. Alright, so we find a Float Stone, we find more Sycamores, Ultra Ball, we find Vileplume. We don't have the Stadium, though, to make Vileplume come into play here, so I think we just go retreat into the Mega Venusaur, and we do another Crisis Vine here. So we get the Paralysis, the Poison, the 100 damage, 110 after the Poison takes effect. And I swear to God if this dude plays 3 Escape Ropes. And we do need to start finding some energy for this Venusaur as well. Well, there's one. We got to start. Alright, and he forfeits the game here because he's only got 2 attackers, and the thing is he's not going to knock us out, and that both of his attackers would then be taken down. So Mega Venusaur actually, under whatever circumstances you want to look at it as, wins against Mega Scizor. So we are able to sacrifice a couple Pokemon early and then come back, and Crisis Vine just kind of offers that kind of control. So we're going to go ahead and do one more with Mega Venusaur and Illumise here.
Mewtwo?
Okay, that's what I was actually just wondering. Hey, there it is. Okay. Hey, we won the coin flip. Oh. I guess we got Shaman. His hand's kind of garbage, though. It's pretty terrible. Okay, so we get 2 Illumais, and we can, assuming we draw a playable card off the top of the deck, we can get, let's see, 1, 2, 3. We could get 4 out of our hand, but I don't think how appealing that is to play a Spirit Link over here. Like, just doesn't seem like something I'd want to do. Okay, so it is Mewtwo. He flips that over. So we're going to go Stadium, Illumais, Energy, 3-card Shaman. And hopefully hit something. Ugh, we get the Sycamore. Oh my god. Alright, so we're gonna take advantage of this here. We're gonna grab the Venusaur. And we can evolve on the first turn because of Forest of Giant Plants. So we can actually get this thing into play and then still play the Sycamore.
Yay!
So we get one of those high 5 Sycamores going on here. Check that out. Alright, so that's not so bad. We'll grab Oddish. Get Vileplume in the deck. Okay, yeah. So we do that. Got T-Mail, which is going to get us an N for next turn. And we can go second Venusaur-EX, Pokemon Tool, Oddish. Yeah, okay. So we get a full board to start out the game. That's pretty cool. And we'll have the option to try to play for a pair of Mega Venusaurs charged up. Alright, so he parallels us instead, so we're going to lose Shaman, obviously, and then I think we just discard the other Illumais here. Could have discarded that Venusaur, I guess, but it's whatever. Alright, so he's just going to go ahead and Lysander. Oh, he Lysanders the Oddish. Okay, so he's scared of Item Lock, I guess. We take a 30 damage Shatter Shot here. And
if you play Megas, you typically don't like Vileplume.
No, especially since he didn't get a Trubbish or anything. Like, he's literally got no bench, so we're going to end up ending him into more Pokemon, unfortunately. Like, we could retreat and try to do that, but I think we just attach here and try to hit the Floatstone. Okay, that's not going to happen, so I guess we could at least save ourselves from getting knocked out. We do have the Gloom here. If he attaches another energy, he'd KO us, but that's fine. No reason to even put the forest down right here. So we do see Hoopa-EX come down. And of course, if he doesn't knock us out, we can Olympia right back to the bench, which is kind of fun. Either that or we could Sycamore and try to, you know, get Floatstone Vileplume shenanigans going. So he grabs 2 more Mewtwo's. One of them's a blue Mewtwo. It's kind of interesting. I've seen people running those, and I'm not really sure why, unless your answer is I don't have enough of these.
Your answer is Eiffel 64.
Eiffel 64?
Yeah, 65, whatever.
I was going to say, were we combining an Italian Euro dance group and a Nintendo console released in the year 1996?
Yes.
Because I'd be down with that.
I'm tired.
Well, to be fair, Eiffel 65 wrote a song about the PlayStation, not the N64.
Because the PlayStation's better. Oh.
I don't know. It's pretty close. They're both pretty awesome systems.
It's really not that close.
Yeah, it is. That Pokemon Stadium 2 cartridge in the other room is going to kick your butt.
Well, yeah, that, but, you know, personally I think SNES was better than N64.
Oh, SNES was the best system of all time.
I was about to say, SNES versus
PlayStation
SNES would definitely be more difficult to call.
Oh yeah, that's SNES versus PS2 is extremely difficult. Because those are both awesome systems. All right, so we get the Floatstone. He doesn't knock us out, so we're gonna attach here. Dang, I don't even want to go and we don't need the forest here. I don't want to Sycamore just yet. I think we wait a turn. I think we just get the Vileplume, and then we use Illumais, and then we can use that 4th energy next turn. So we retreat, we put Plume into play, and then I think we just Helping Hand here for another energy. And so with, let's see, 3 left in the deck, 4 there, so we got 8. I think we discarded 1, so we should have 1 more energy hanging out over here in the prize cards, which would be enough to get 2 Venusaurs swinging on the game. So he's going to give us Shrine of Memories now, which is going to give Mewtwo some interest, or I mean, give Venusaur some interesting options now. Kind of makes me wish we ran the other basic Venusaur now.
I know, I was just about to say, after me convincing you didn't really need the other one.
So he gets the Garbodor down, which is going to shut down Vileplume.
Boo.
There's a lot of Garbodor in Standard. That is one of the big problems with the format. We do see another energy on the Mewtwo. Psychic Infinity is going to knock out Illumise, which is fine because we get a Crisis Vine this turn anyway. So we'll bring up the floating Vileplume for now. And we just hit another Sycamore. So we'll just attach to Venusaur. And we'll go ahead and use Professor Sycamore. So we do okay there. I'm just going to go ahead and retreat here. And we're going to use Crisis Vine for 120. And then we'll get Paralysis and Poison.
Excuse me.
And hopefully he doesn't run the Olympia or the Escape Rope or Switch or anything like that. So we can just kind of, you know, beat the living poop out of this thing. So he Lysanders up our Vileplume, actually. That's an interesting decision. I would have expected the other Mega Venusaur to be brought up.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go ahead and we see a passing of the turn.
That was stupid. Did he not see the float stone?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was just thinking. So we're going to go ahead and attach to the other Venusaur. We're just going to retreat here. And unfortunately, I think we just knocked this thing out. I don't really think there's much else we can do. He could just put another one of those things into play and almost kill us. But I think we Crisis Vine here. We take this knockout while it's there to be had. And we get 2 prize cards from it. So we find a Forest and an N. And then the floating Garb will... Oh, he's not even going to bring it up. He must just have the energy and the Mega in his hand. We see another Trubbish. There's a Sycamore. Oh, you really should have brought the Garb up, at least temporarily. We see a Trainer's Mail. Did I mention I hate Garbodor right now? Here I am trying to shut down his items, and this thing happens. Ugh. Alright, so there's the energy. There's the Mega. So he's doing, let's see, 100. He's doing 190. He needs 2 more energy still. He needs a couple of Mega Turbos here. Instead, he just hits us with Psychic Infinity. So we take 190. Well, let's get that Shrine of Memories out of there. Go ahead and put another energy on the benched Venusaur. I think we just Crisis Vine here. Lock him up. And force a third Mewtwo to have to come into play. And hopefully we hit that energy off the prizes. We could always try to Lysander the Garbodor and take control that way. We do see he attaches a Spirit Link to the other Mewtwo. We're going to see a Super Rod here, putting the Mega Mewtwo line and a Psychic Energy back into the deck, and he Sycamores now. So he throws away the Mega Turbo, wondering if maybe he top-decked that. Also curious why he didn't attach here, but I guess double colorless. So we see that, we see the Mega Evolution, so he's got another attacker ready to go, and he's going to Escape Rope here. So we can just give him the Vileplume, I think. I'm content with that. And he's got to give us the Trubbish here, I think. He brings the Hoopa up instead. So we do see a Mega Turbo as well. Maybe we can hit Lysander off of this T-Mail here. I don't know. He retreats right back up into Mega Mewtwo, so he's just going to Psychic Infinity our Vileplume away. Another Garbodor, yeah, that's kind of whatever. See a Professor's Letter there for a couple more energy, that's fine. Really don't have too much to care about in terms of any of that, because we're not going to stop his items. So we're just going to go ahead and bring this one back up. We can knock this thing out. We do draw into another Olympia. Not that we really want that right now. I suppose we could try to... let's see. I suppose we could try to check out the deck and see if there's anything else we might be able to use here. Go ahead and throw away a couple of things. Alright, so we can see what's in here. There's the Lysander, there's the energy. I guess we just take the Gloom that we can't really use. And then I think we just throw everything away. We do find the energy, so we can attach that. And I think we just Crisis Vine here again. And whether or not we draw the grass energy here is going to be the game. Alright, we do get it. So we do get the grass energy off the prize cards, which would allow our benched Venusaur to be able to attack. And we do have Lysander as well to pull up one of those Pokemon EX if he chooses not to give us one of those. I find it hard-pressed that he doesn't bring this thing up and try to just finish the game off. Of course, he's going to hit us with the N down to 2, so that energy is going to disappear into a deck of 10 cards. We do hit the T-Mail, though. So maybe we can find something off there. He doesn't attack, which is interesting. We do draw the Lysander. So I think actually we hold the T-Mail here and we just Lysander up. Oh, geez. I think we Lysander up the Hoopa here. And we can go ahead and Crisis Vine and we can stun him again here. And then if he can't get out of the active, we win. And if he can, we still have that second Venusaur waiting on the bench. So the fact that he chose not to attack us there was pretty interesting. We do see a Versus Seeker. He goes and grabs Lysander, so he's going to force us to bring up the other Venusaur here in the hopes that we won't be able to attack him. Now, we don't have a Professor Sycamore left. We do have an N left over. We have, what is it, 9 cards left in the deck. One of them is a Grass Energy. We do not have a Lysander left over. We find an Ultra Ball. Do we have a Shaman? We do have a Shaman left, but he's got an active Garbodor. So that's not going to be doing us any favors. We can grab the N here and try to draw it off this end to reshuffle to 2. And we don't get it. Alright, so big news there. Alright, so I think we just grab the Ultra Ball here. And unfortunately, we're going to watch this Venusaur just get mauled by Mewtwo. And I think the worst case scenario here would be if he were to play another Lysander, but he does have 2 Lysanders and 4 Versus Seekers gone. So we do have that kind of going for us. Like, unless he runs a 3rd copy of Lysander, he's not dragging this one up. And he did also Mega Evolve over here. So he can't try to use Mega Evolution there as a way to cure his status condition. So he's going to have to retreat here at some point. And if his intent is to run us out of cards, as long as the Grass Energy is not one in the bottom couple cards, we would be fine. So we do see he retreats into a Floating Garb here. Attaches another energy to that Hoopa, so he's going to try to get, it looks like, a Hyperspace Fury off here. And so we can thin the deck by Ultra Balling these 2 away. And I think we just take the Shaman. But that's all we've got, because if he Hyperspace Furies, he can knock out this Venusaur, and then he can try to bring this one up and finish a KO there. We know he's got plenty of energy now. He'll need 1 more energy on that Mewtwo to finish the job. But he doesn't get the Psychic Energy this turn, so we just draw, we pass, and we've got 3 cards left, so we need that top card to be the energy, because we're going to need presumably 2 attacks to win this game. And he's also down to 1 card in his deck, so we may see another N come here pretty soon, but he's going to have to take a knockout if he wants to do that, and that may mean bringing this thing up, which would, in essence, lose him the game. Instead, we see a double colorless go on to his active Garbodor. That is his third double colorless. I don't believe any of them are in the discard. We draw into the energy here. I think if there's any potential backfire here, I don't see it. So we will Crisis Vine. Knock out the Garb. Now, he did activate the other one, so we're still ability locked. Go ahead and claim a prize card here. And now he's essentially forced to drag up that Mewtwo. I think I still would have brought up a floater at first, but he really doesn't have an option here besides Psychic Infinity for the knockout. He can do 250 damage to knock us out. And we're going to be bringing up the second Venusaur now, the one that has already taken a boatload of damage. And we're going to Crisis Vine here, but he's got no cards left in his deck, so he's actually going to lose this by deck out.
That's rare.
And then we would win on the next turn, providing he did not have a method to retreat anyway. So Mega Venusaur, I mean, even if he's got that card left in his deck, I believe pretty sure we still win that game, but nonetheless, we see Mega Venusaur go the distance against Mega Mewtwo. So we beat a couple other Mega Evolution decks, Mewtwo and Scizor, and Mega Venusaur getting through there. So that's today's deck, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers!